corny gives me $100 million one year, $70 million the next year, and counting, I will
Give me
take
that.
14 cornies.
Varying degrees, this exists in all of us. This is the ultimate insanity of a single perspective and the lengths we will go to make it correct. So this made me understand something. And seeing ourselves as Black women in particular, but as women, as people, still trying to conform to standards. Remember what I was
My ICU girl this week is Ashley Allison. She is bringing the root back to Black ownership for the first time in a decade through her new company.
The Root news platform.
The Root news platform. Her new company, Watering Hole Media, just acquired it. Now, for those who don't know, The Root was founded in 2008 by Henry Louis Gates Jr.
And I would always say, even in the music, because we all friends, so I'm just going like, I'll talk to like my girlfriends, even our listeners, everybody. I would always tell young women, and I would say to my friends in the music industry, you can only sleep with one guy in the industry if you're going to do it. Just one. Because you can never find yourself in a room where two dudes can have a conversation about sleeping with you. Because the moment that happens, you have lost your power in the situation. What up, though? Live from Detroit.
Live from the quiet neighborhoods of Culver City. That's where I am.
Well, it's all quiet in the woods. I've seen 2 blue jays.
Oh.
Some turkeys.
Oh, those turkeys are
big.
Huge.
They're Jurassic. I don't know if you've ever seen a real turkey.
Aren't they Jurassic animals? Like, not Jurassic animals, but weren't they around back?
I'm sure.
When dinosaurs?
They look like they were.
Because they're gigantic.
They look like they've seen a pterodactyl. I've never.
Seriously, like, why are they so big?
They're big, and then then they have Jurassic feet. They're just these big, like, stocky legs. I'm like, this is not.
And why is always a gang of them? It's never just one.
They always are like, and then they stand together and they like point in the same direction.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
Like the start of a creepy movie.
They are. I don't know. The turkeys will come.
Like, do they sense something that we don't?
They might. I don't know.
They taste good though.
They do.
Tastes real good. My sister does a really good turkey. Ooh, child.
Well, the whole Thanksgiving dinner, if you are a meat eater, is right in the backyard. So I'm like, good luck catching them. I'm running away. I'm personally running away. But look,
I'm ready for Thanksgiving. I'm ready for the holidays. Let's go.
I am too. But in the meantime, we got to turn the autoresponder on.
The autoresponder is on.
Welcome back. Are back for another episode. We missed you. We were a week away. We are live and direct in recorded fashion.
You have a lot to cover.
We do, so we should get to it. What's your out of office?
I'm busy watching these reaction videos to Taylor Swift's latest album. Y'all are not happy.
Oh. Ooh.
No.
Ooh. Okay. I feel like does this belong in like what's good or not, or is it a Jesus?
No, this is definitely just staying in the out of office reply. Like, this is
you're like,
no, we're not talking about that album. I'm not a Swiftie. No, nothing against her.
I'm not either. Especially after I'm sorry, but I'm like, yo, after Kayla Nicole did what she did, I can't. I don't know. I'm just.
Well, apparently there's a song where she kind of touches on. This one woman said that she's very bothered by the women that Travis used to date.
As she should be.
And as someone who, and I'll talk about this later, someone who just met Kayla Nicole in person briefly.
She should be. She should be shook.
Yep.
Yeah. She should be shook. I could see it. I could see it in the video. I was like, I understand. So it is what it is. I think should be all the way bothered and likely is all the way bothered.
Yeah,
but
she should.
Anywho,
well, what's your out of office reply?
My out of office is that I'm currently out of the office stepping in grass. Coated by the fresh morning dew, get you
Okay.
some.
Get
That's right.
yes,
Get you
grounding. We
some.
love that for
Yes.
you.
I've started walking in the morning on the morning grass. I walk my dog. I take my shoes
Mm.
off. I stand for a few minutes in the sun on the grass, let it flow.
Let go,
So
let flow.
let it go, let it flow. This is
That sounds divine. I think I'm gonna do that after we record this, like,
you
go be in the
absolutely
sun.
should. If you're
Mhm.
listening to this and you would never think of this like it's unthinkable, listen. The grass is relatively clean. Find yourself a clean patch of grass. Take your shoes off, socks off, everything. Stand in the grass in the sun and just take a deep breath in through your nose and let it go
Mhm.
and see how you feel. See how you feel. You can if you have a some people have a aversion to being barefoot outside. Wash your feet afterwards. Your feet are
Please wash your
very
feet. We don't want any
yes.
of the extra
Yes.
the outside stuff coming inside the house. Yes, please wash
But
your
our
feet.
skin is a very tough external barrier. You'll be fine. Just wash the feet off. You'll be all right. So give yourself that moment.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, I see you, girl.
Yes, I see you, girl.
I see you, girl.
Well, my ICU girl this week is Ashley Allison. She is a political strategist. She was an admin in the Obama Biden White House, and you may have seen her on CNN. She is bringing the root back to Black ownership for the first time in a decade through her new
The
company.
Root. The Root news platform.
The Root News platform. Her new company, Watering Hole Media, just acquired it. Now, for those who don't know, The Root was founded in 2008 by Henry Louis Gates Jr. and Donald E. Graham, who used to be the chairman of the Washington Post. And it was a trailblazer at the time when it launched because The Root predates HuffPost Black Voices, The Griot. It's where I started reading pieces by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And I think Very Smart Brothers also had a
Mhm.
section on the website who they provided a lot of comedic relief.
Damon Young, what up?
Yes, and social commentary. They were great. But anyways, over the years, The Root was owned by Univision and a couple of private equity firms. And so Ashley's vision, and she says, it isn't about making more content, but rather about making meaning of this moment. You know, this moment we're in, when journalism is under attack and audiences are seeking independent sources for news. And that's what she wants to do. She wants to invest in video. She wants to do live activations. She wants to do new partnerships while keeping the heart of The Root focused on telling stories with honesty, depth, and pride. So, as Henry Louis Gates said, she's returning the roots to its roots. So, we see you, Ashley. You are proof that when Black women lead, we don't just shift the culture; we protect it.
Ow. Very well. My ICU girl is another Miss ICU Ms. Girl,
Mm.
Ms. Lady Girl, and Jayne Kennedy Overton. That's Jayne, like
Oh,
my pen
your
name,
name,
Jane
yeah.
Allen. And I do believe it's Jayne Kennedy, even maybe potentially subconsciously, that made me think of spelling Jane when I decided on my pen name as Jayne Allen to spell it with a Y, because Jayne Kennedy has always been that girl. Okay. Always been, according to Most Def in his Miss Fat Booty lyrics, honey was blazing. She just, she looked like Jayne Kennedy wore bond. Like that. Okay.
Oh,
But let me
what?
yes, well, she has a new memoir out. And I think it's really important for us to know her story, because there's a little bit of a theme for me this week and some of the things that I want to talk about.
Mm.
And so Jayne Kennedy, I saw her clip on Tamron Hall when she was telling an abbreviated version of her story, but it's also in PBS and it's also in her memoir. So she was the first Black Miss Ohio in 1970. Then she was a sports newscaster. And then she was in the Wonder Woman television show and other film and television. But I mean, talk about knockout. Like, she's just beautiful, brown skinned Black woman, just gorgeous. I mean,
I
kind
need
of
to look her up.
this beauty, like this, like a beauty standard, but us, you know?
Mm.
And so Jayne Kennedy just is the name, the icon. You should know her name. I mean, she's just that girl.
Wow, wait.
She's
I just saw her picture. She's
yeah,
stunning.
stunning, stunning, stunning. Even at 72, stunning, just fabulous. Now this is what. So she's just fabulous. And in the mix, what happened in the 90s, there was a leaked intimate video with her and her husband. Now you know where we are in 2025 about leaked sex videos and whatever, but this was an intimate girl. It was an intimate video with her and her husband that leaked, and all her contracts got canceled. But worse than that, she self she locked herself into a prison of shame basically for 10 years, wouldn't leave the house, wasn't talking to people, was just absolutely ashamed, and was too ashamed to be the fabulous person that she was, and to just went into like reclusive hiding. And so just, started to work her way out, but for 10 years lived in that state where she said it didn't
Mm.
matter what other people thought, it was what she thought of herself. And because of that video, and the response to that video, and then how she self-imposed the rest of the judgments, and then the shame, and then and then the seclusion after that. So she's finally out with her story. She's finally, you could see in her interview the pain, and the what I think is a healing still in process. So I just her memoir is called Plain Jane, and I think just the
Anything but.
courage. Yeah. Oh, she ain't plain, but she is Jane. And so just the courage for her. I mean, I proudly, with my pen name, Jayne Allen, proudly have that name, Jayne. And I think it in large part makes me think of one of the baddest bitches to ever do it is Jayne Kennedy. So that was in part what I was thinking about with my pen name.
Yes.
Yeah, so I my heart goes out to her, but I also send her utmost respect and just admiration for having the courage to tell her story, for overcoming that imposition of these unrealistic, ridiculous standards that are placed upon women. And I'm going to say one thing about this too, on a personal note.
Mm.
Having worked in the entertainment industry as a woman, and even as an attractive woman, or woman that receives attraction, having to navigate this sort of dual space of needing to uphold this unrealistically like perfect standard of professional perfection, and then also just being a human being and like living your life and having fun and wanting to have a good time. And particularly in the music industry, that was always used against women,
Mm.
and the entertainment spaces. Like you go into spaces and men particularly would use that against you, where, you, if, they just as currency, like, oh, I slept with her, or I did this, or I did that. And they use that to demoralize you, or use that to take away your power. And I would always say, even in the music, because we all friends, so I'm just going like, I'll talk to like my girlfriends, even our listeners, everybody. I would always tell young women, and I would say to my friends in the music industry, you can only sleep with one guy in the industry if you're going to do it. Just one. Because you can never find yourself in a room where two dudes, that's what you're into, but two dudes can have a conversation about sleeping with you. Because the moment that happens, you have lost your power in the situation, in
Mm. That's
whatever
real.
situation. And they do that for that purpose. So for me, I just remember how I spent all of my years. Like I mean, I'm sorry to those men. Like, you understand now why it didn't go down, even though, it might have been some some genuine interest and
When is
sincere
your memoir
interest.
coming out? Okay, well,
Girl,
that's what we
I'm
want to
like, I
know.
got a lot to tell. But I mean, I was really cognizant about it. I would not, my thighs were locked closed shut with the, padlock. Cause I'm like, I only get one. So sorry, your lottery number did not get called. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was me. But
Locked, closed, shut with padlock. Is that what you just said?
I did. I did. I mean, that's not, I
Girl,
hope people didn't take it personally, because I was like, that was the standard. Because I
bars.
just knew that I only got one. I was like, if you only got one chip to play, I'm like, I'm sorry.
That's really unfortunate that you can't
But
just be like, if you want to take somebody down, you should be able to take
you should be
somebody
able to take
down.
somebody down.
But you
That's
can't
right.
because you know
Because
how
you
these
can't.
fools be acting.
that's,
Girl,
it literally was that. I'm not exaggerating. So, and it I don't know, to this day it is that. I mean, you see like the Diddy trial, you hear
I'm
only
sure it
half of the
is. I'm sure
story.
it is.
But the entertainment industry for women, and particularly Black women, is just, it's a treacherous place. It has been. And it's like we've all, you're always dancing that line. Like you can never be like a fully actualized human. I hope that it's changed a lot and things are changing, but I doubt it.
Doubt it.
But her story means a lot to me in that way. And so, support the memoir. I haven't read it. I haven't had a chance to read it because I'm on 2 deadlines, but I'm going to read it. I'll probably do a review or talk about it. But I think her story in particular for women, all women, is an
Mm-hmm.
important one. And to understand. And I'm going to talk about this whole concept a little bit more in some other segments, because I think it touches on a broader topic. But in the meantime, for this segment, I see you, girl, Ms. Lady Girl, Jayne Kennedy, the baddest, the bad
Okay.
one. And I mean that in a
Yes.
good way. We see you, we love you, we appreciate you. You are an icon, and thank you
I
for
love that.
everything.
Thank you for putting me on to her because I had no idea, but now I know. So, what I'm on
Now,
right now.
now.
What do
Did
you
you
want
see
right
that
now?
harmony? You see that harmony?
Oh,
Did you hear
yes,
that?
because we in sync.
Okay. That was impromptu. We didn't practice that, y'all.
We
We
did
just
not
did
practice
it.
that,
It
y'all.
was just in the moment.
We just be in it. The
We just on
spirit
it.
moves us.
As the spirit shall flow. Okay, so what I am on right now
Yes.
is what I was talking about, walking, like grounding. So there's a few different things. Reconnecting with my body. I've been there's a book that I'll put y'all on in a minute.
Mm.
I need to read it again because it was so impactful. But it was basically talking about your body's energy systems and blockages and preventing illness and really being in the flow of what we actually are.
Yeah.
And we're energy systems, energetic beings, but we were really made to interact with our environment and for movement. I mean, we have a lot of muscles in our body. Like, I think that's so the purpose is for movement, and people have varying restrictions, but just in general, we're supposed to be moving and interacting to the fullest extent possible with our environment and not blocking ourselves. But our modern lifestyles creates all of these blockages
Sure
to our
does.
regular energy flows. So one of the things I've been doing is walking the grass. That's grounding. When you do it barefoot, when you do connect with your environment, in particular the soil, the grass, the sand, the ocean, the water, the lakes, standing in full contact with the earth, it does allow some energy flow and opens your system. You will feel better. Like, there's a sense of well-being that you feel from that, but also connecting with movement. And I've been talking about my um I won't call it weight loss, but I'll just call it recomposition efforts and
Mm-hmm.
my daily workouts, my movement. But I'm realizing the well-being that comes from movement, and what I've been feeling and having a regular practice of movement. And so I'm gonna maybe do like a little short social media video about things that you can just do in the middle of the day that don't require anything other than just standing up, but
Mm.
like just moving your arms, just moving your arms and doing like air squats, just giving yourself that rejuvenation in the middle of the day. That's what I'm on right now, is just have stealing the moments that I can, whether it's 30 seconds, whether it's 2 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes of movement, of grounding, of recalibrating, and
Mm-hmm.
even creative energy. And when it comes to connecting to what my visions and my dreams are, just the simple action of writing it down in the moment. Writing down, if an idea comes, if a vision comes, I'm like, here's my pencil. Writing it down is
Absolutely.
an act of movement, is an act of manifestation. Writing it down in the moment. Even if you come back to it later, if you don't think about it for a year and come back to it. So that's what I'm on right now. I know it's not one specific thing, but it is to me.
No,
So
I love that.
we'll unpack that later. But
I love
that's
that.
that's my right now.
I think that's great. I think something I've been doing without even realizing it, I've been doing a version of that. I have a journal that I just have that's lying in the house, that's just on the kitchen table. And I often just go in and just write something that comes to mind because you're used to doing it in notes, which is
Yeah.
fine,
I know,
but
or voice notes.
or voice note, right? But there's something about sitting down and writing it out and then
Mhm.
repeating it as you're writing it out. That's something that I've been doing lately. Just write, like, I'll write my name, or I'll just write a simple thought or something that just like a light bulb of inspiration of some sort, and I'll just write it down so I won't forget it. I think that's phenomenal.
It's so important, and I was telling, my friend about my journey, and I'll talk about this a little bit later.
Uh-huh.
It's really part of my final word, but I used to write all the time when I was at work, and I had to be in my office. I could not really leave my desk. I couldn't do anything other than write. Ironically, that's where I wrote my first book, but I at my desk, I could not do anything other than write. One of the things I would do, I had a notebook. I would write what my greatest wish of the time was, and it was I would write, "God, please grant me the freedom of my time and geography," over and over and over again. Because in the midst of where I was, I didn't have any options for not being there,
Right.
except in my mind where I
Wow.
knew what I wanted other than what I was experiencing. And so that was what I would write over and over and over again. And I mean, that's what manifest or I was able to manifest. But the first step, I mean, there's just something about that. So I think we have more power. There's more power in writing and writing it down than I think we realize. And just taking some kind of step towards anything.
Absolutely.
So I love that for
Absolutely.
you. Your journal.
Yeah, girl, our thoughts, the words that it's just it all starts with a thought. And then when you write it down, it's like you're willing it into existence. I mean, we talked about this over and over again. So you
Mhm.
guys know this is what we always are on. We're always on.
Always.
Always on. But speaking of
On
being out in the
it.
nature,
Yes, guru. What are you on right now?
so speaking of grounding in nature, what I'm on right now is Valle de Guadalupe. That's why we didn't record last week, because I and the hubby celebrated our 10-year anniversary in Mexican wine country. It's an area that really hasn't blown up yet, but it absolutely deserves to. It gives Napa, Sonoma energy, but way less pretension. And the price tag, y'all, you can't beat that price tag. It was like a tenth, okay? It was
What?
it's so affordable. Like Jackson and I were like, "How much did this cost in pesos?" It's
Valle
like,
de Guadalupe.
"That's like $50." And we ate like kings. It was
Wh
just
and it was, like,
fantastic.
good wine? So it was, like,
Oh my
wine
gosh.
tasting so this was equivalent of Napa, but in our
But
neighboring
way
Mexico.
less expensive. So let me tell you. Okay, let me
Okay.
paint the picture for you. Okay.
I wanna hear.
So we stayed at this hotel called the Banyan Tree Villa. Gorgeous, luxury villas, tucked into the vineyards, views for days. Most of the time, we didn't even leave the property because one, the food was fantastic, but two, the views. It looked like something out of Dune because of the sand color.
Mm.
The architect, uh, um, the way that he designed the space, there's one main place and there's this big statue in the middle. The actual winery on the property is called Pictogramma, and it's a circle, and it has these. I think it's a way she explained it was like it's an ode to the indigenous people that lived there and how they built their homes.
What about the colors? The colors.
It was very much sand. All of it was very sand colors, but
Neutral? Like, neutral
neutral.
colors?
Yes, neutral colors. Everything was very neutral. Shades of brown, light brown, dark brown, just stunning.
Earth color? Like terracotta?
Terracotta
That's
earth
what I'm seeing,
colors.
like, orangey
Some
sands.
orange sand, yes.
Mhm.
So we had a beautiful slow lunch one day, and then we had like an 8-course dinner at their new restaurant called
Ooh.
Amapola by Benito Molina and Solange Maurice. They were once featured on a Bourdain episode over a decade ago. That's actually how we got the idea that we wanted to go to this region. Then when we did venture out, we went to Bruma Vineyard.
Mhm.
We took one sip of one of their wines and was like, "Thank you, we'll take 14 more." And then we left with 4 bottles, I think. Then we hit Fauna, which was voted one of the best restaurants in Mexico. And they had this, first of all, the cocktails were cocktailing. Then they had this quail and this cabbage dish. I don't even know how to describe it. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Really? And now is this on the water or not on the water?
Not on the water. It's not far from the water, but it's not on the water.
How far is it from the beach?
So it's in Baja, California. It's about 2-hour drive from San Diego.
Mm. Oh my gosh. This is I'm planning my trip right now. I'm like, okay. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
flying into LA and it's drivable.
it's totally drivable. 70% of Mexico's wine come from this region, and they're doing like really cool experimental blends that are really exciting and fresh. If you are a wine drinker, you will be
I'm a
very
wine head.
pleased
I'm not a
with.
wino, but I'm a wine head.
Yes, with wine, there's a difference. That's right.
Mm.
You'll be very pleased with the wines that are offered there. The food scene really is next level because it's seafood, it's farm to table, local ingredients, everything is fresh, everything's very design forward, everything is effortlessly chic. It's easy to get to, like I said. So if you're in LA, you can get picked up in LA and get driven straight to Valle de Guadalupe.
This sounds like another we are out of office trip. We have 2 so far now that we need to
Absolutely.
this could be a retreat.
Yes, because the guy said, the driver, he was like, I picked up 40 people from Beverly Hills and drove them straight down to Valle de Guadalupe. The whole trip took about 4.5 hours. Now, pro tip, definitely get a fast pass because on our way back, it took us 12 minutes to get through the border. Otherwise, you're going to sit there for 3 to 4 hours. And we saw the
Oh,
line.
okay. Well, keep
We saw the
I
line.
this is I'm in. And so you can get to the beach if you really need to see some water.
Yes, because on the way down, we
But this
saw
is
some
more
water.
like Napa because Napa is not about the water. Napa is about the water to wine in your glass. Like this Napa is about the transformation
Pretty
of
much.
water to wine. We don't worry about that. We worry about drinking,
But it's fantastic. Now,
tasting.
let me give you some tidbits because then you're going to be like, why didn't you tell us this, Nicole? So this is some real talk.
Okay.
There are a few things you need to know before you go. The roads can be bumpy.
Mhm.
Infrastructure is still catching up to the tourism. There's also some concern of overdevelopment and water use because the valley's small and semi-arid. So if you go respectfully,
Okay.
okay? Support the local wineries, eat at the family-owned spots. Part of the magic of Valle is that it still feels untouched. There are parts of it that feel like this is definitely where the dinosaurs roamed at one point. Like, it feels like that. I'm not joking.
There's turkeys.
I'm not joking. There's
The
wild
Jurassic
turkeys,
turkeys is wild
pterodactyl-looking turkeys. But there are a lot of these elevated wine experiences, but again, without the Napa prices, that's it. So it's soft, it's stunning, it's incredibly soulful, and I'm so happy that I went. I'm so happy that we went. It has left an impression on me. I miss it, which is weird to say,
Oh,
but
I understand that though.
yeah, it's great. And it's like I said, it's so close. So
Well, I feel like this warrants another trip, a
100%.
return trip, or maybe even we take our crew of listeners along with us.
Absolutely. Like I said, the vineyard that the state place that we stayed at's great. There's another one that I want to try that's a little bit on the main thoroughfare so that you don't have to deal with the bumpy road so much because it was a little extra going to and from Bruma and to our place. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a ride. But it was great.
That reminds me of the roads in Jamaica. I think we were going to Kingston, and we it was like spring break or something,
Yeah.
and we were in Jamaica. We were like, oh, we're gonna go from I don't know, it was Montego Bay or Negril or something to Kingston, and we got young and stupid. We had somebody take us. I don't even know, but I thought we were about to fall off the cliff. We almost hit a goat.
Oh
It
my
was so
gosh.
that makes it just makes me think about the
Ooh, goat. That would
it
have
has to
tasted
be
good.
better than that.
Sorry. I'm thinking about
Well,
food.
oh goat. I know, girl. Listen. Wow. So
Ignore
I'm
me.
like,
Ignore
but
me.
when you said bumpy roads, I'm like, it has to be better than that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to check this out. You got me planning the trip in my mind.
Yes, it was great. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Love it.
Beautiful. Anyways,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
minding my Black business.
Minding my Black business. Well, I will start with something that probably a lot of people don't know. So, did you know that Ciara and Russell Wilson have a humongously successful clothing brand, athletic clothing brand called 3 Brand? So they did $100 million in sales according to Forbes in 2024.
Excuse me?
Yes, in just the first half of 2025, they did $70 million in sales. And so these are moisture wicking
3
workout
Brand?
clothes. Yes,
I've never
workout
heard of
clothes for
this.
kids. I haven't either, but they're moisture wicking workout clothes for kids.
Workout clothes for kids?
That's right. And so the 3 Brand, it stands for the intersection effectively of sports, fashion, and music, and how that can help with the development of the mind, body, and soul, or inspire mind, body, and soul. So this is their concept. They're just, I mean, I swear, I don't know Russell Wilson and I do not know Ciara Wilson, but I just love what they represent. They could be totally different people in real life, but I like the image that they portray is inspiration enough for me. So thank you for this.
So awesome.
And there's a quote from Russell Wilson that I really loved. It's a Forbes article. I'll put the link in the show notes. But he said, a lot of the things that Ciara and I accomplished, we wrote them out as kids. We wrote them out as kids and had people who believed in us. A lot of the things that Ciara and I accomplished, we wrote them out as kids. That's what Russell Wilson said. So remember, I said we're going to be a theme for this episode. I'm going to say the same thing over and over. And had people who believed in us. But as a young kid, you ultimately have to believe in you. It's about motivating this next generation. So I love the messaging behind their brand. I'm excited for them. If you see 3 Brand, that's what you're supporting. I don't think a lot of people know that they're like been quietly behind this. They have a partnership with Nike, but I mean, it's just been building and growing over the past 5 years.
Bravo.
The past 5 years. And so Russell Wilson said he learned a lot of what he learned about fashion from Christine Day, who was the previous CEO of Lululemon.
Right.
And teaching him, she's been teaching him the fashion business. So I think it's worth supporting. I did not know about this, but I'm very excited about 3 Brand.
I'm on this website and I'm like, I'm about to get this lunchbox for.
Yeah, they moved into merchandise and accessories. So
this is related but not related. Channing Crowder had some interesting words about Russell Wilson recently. And this podcaster, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, just went in on him. Was like, why are you a 40-year-old man talking about who's corny? Like,
what
are we talking
ridiculous.
about? Like, he's like, he's comparing Future and Russell. He was like, man, the men in Atlanta don't mess with Russell Wilson. And he's like, why are we even talking about this?
They can't, because they can't.
Like, why is this even a topic coming out of your mouth? Like, why are you even talking about? Why are you defending Future right now? Like, who cares?
I think people find these strange justifications to, but again, there's a theme. I'll talk about more of this later. That's ridiculous.
Moving on, but yes, get
but
you
I mean,
Russell.
it has to be acknowledged. Listen, corny works for me.
Corny works for me any day. If corny gives me $100 million one year, $70 million the next year, and counting, I will take 14 cornies.
Give me that big old corn husk, okay? I'll take it.
Give me all the corn. Give me the corn. Give me the maíz. Give me the
tortilla chip.
Give me the cornmeal. Give me the elote.
The grits.
Give me all the corn.
Quarter de cob.
Cornucopia. I want all of it. Give me a cornucopia of corn, please.
She said, I'll take the cornucopia.
Give me the cornucopia.
If that's what it entails.
If that's what I'm getting, give me cornucopia. Shit.
I'm done.
Talking about something. This dude is corny. You're corny. Get out of here. I don't even know who you are.
I'm done.
Moving on. I found a black toy maker.
Okay.
And how I found her was that she did a 14-part series on making her first stuffed elephant
Oh, really?
that she crocheted.
Oh, okay. And then so now is it for sale or
So
so
yes, it's
she
for sale.
industrialized?
So she creates crochet statues. Her name is Shayla Palmer. She's based in Ontario, Canada. She
Oh,
has a
my neighbor here in
right.
Detroit.
She has a toy brand called Mes Amis Toys. And she started
Mhm.
crocheting last year, girl. Last year. And she originally wanted to create a dress, but it didn't work out. So, like I said, all these pieces are crochet statues. And what I love most is that a few of the series on her page, when you see them, a lot of it is just, I want to do them because I just want to do them. It's for the first time. So she's just trying things out, which is really cool. So this
Mhm.
elephant is about 75 to 100 pounds.
What? A
Yes.
crochet elephant
The
that's
crochet
75 pounds?
the crochet statue. It looks like a
That's
cartoon.
huge. It's like the
It,
size of a big dog.
well, that's the thing. She jumped on it. That's the first video I saw when she finished and she was like, she hopped on it. And I was like, oh, I want to hop on this too. But it's the cutest thing ever. She did it in different parts. She did the legs, the ears, the tail. She added these little details in the toenails. It's truly one of the most adorable things I've ever
I
seen.
can't wait to see. You have such a great way of making me want to see exactly what you're talking about. And also kind of seeing it as you're describing it, but then like I need to click on the show notes and see
Well,
what
thank
this
you so
is.
much. Because
I
sometimes I'd be like struggling with describing things. But
you're no, you're so good. I'm like, this is amazing. This sounds amazing.
okay, great. So thank you, girl. So her other work, she made life-size blueies. She's made cacti. She did Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. They all look like they should be on in a kids high-end kids design catalog or whatever. She does everything by hand. It started
Wow.
out as a hobby. That's what I love about this. Like, she just wanted to try something new, and now it's a full-fledged business. She has 800,000 followers on IG, and she's killing it. The prices they range. She has small crochet things that are about $50, but
Mhm.
the bigger statement pieces go into a few thousand because they deserve to be. These things are huge. So
And
if you
they're pieces of art.
pieces of art,
Yeah.
100,000%. So if you're looking for unique handmade gift gifts for friends who have kids, babies, whatever, or you just want to support a black business, check out Miss and Me Toys. Shayla is doing something really special. I like I said, the video that I saw of her jumping on that elephant tickled me, and I was like, I need to know who this woman is. So
That sounds like I
introducing
mean an
you,
art investment. I love that.
Miss and Me Toys. Yes, fabulous,
Um,
love it.
Well, now we go from jumping on the back of an elephant to Jesus taking the wheel because it is our Jesus take the wheel segment.
Ciao. Okay, I'm gonna pick one thing this week
Okay. Which one are you going to
because
pick?
I had two. I'm gonna pick the DC one because this one, because I'm from DC,
Okay.
born and bred. I haven't lived there for a while, and I don't like to speak ill of people, but this is why we have Jesus take the wheel. So I came across
Our opportunity to be shady, if y'all didn't
yes,
realize.
yes, Mayor Bowser, please come to the front. Okay. Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania was grilling Mayor Bowser. The line of questioning is, are DC's traffic cameras really about safety or are they about revenue?
Mm.
Bowser says safety. Scott Perry said, you thought. Because she has deployed a bunch of traffic cameras. Some say there are more in DC than outside of DC. And she was pressed about why there's so many traffic cameras, and when she said she was doing this for safety, he was like, "No, you are leaning on ticket revenues from these traffic violations to make up for budget shortfalls." Because
What?
explain to me why fines in DC are higher than in neighboring jurisdictions. For example, if you run a red light in DC, that might run you $100. When you cross the line in PG County, it only runs you $40. And some of the largest costs are in historically lower income and black neighborhoods. It's wards 7 and 8, he said. The fines and violations, the rates appear higher. How do you justify this?
Wow. And there's a historical context to this because typically this is what has happened in largely black areas. This is not the first place. If this is the case, would not be the first place this has happened where black citizens are used for revenue raising uh, enforcement. So they use law enforcement, traffic rules, traffic stops, all of these things in large and predominantly black areas. They have heavier enforcement, higher fines, and they enforce it against these populations uh, disproportionately for the purpose of specifically raising revenue on the backs of these communities. So if that's what's happening, unfortunately, this is not the first time this happened, but it would be. I mean, that's deplorable if that's the case.
I
Absolutely
have nothing.
ridiculous.
It just seems like, and I have friends that live in DC, and then one of actually, I'm going to shout out one of my girlfriends. She posted on her page, and she said it was ridiculous because she lives there. She's seen it in real time. Now, I want to be fair. Mayor Bowser isn't just some villain on my timeline. She's been DC's mayor since 2015, and she has gotten some serious wins. She's invested in neglected neighborhoods. She's created safer streets. She's had bold visions for infrastructure, no new taxes, yada 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 yada. But using traffic cameras as a built-in revenue stream
Mhm.
off the backs of your people, not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool.
And if
Not
if
cool.
that's if that's the case,
If that's
allegedly.
the case. But
Allegedly.
Representative Scott Perry said, you said you were going to use revenues to fill in the $580 million gap. That's why he's like, is this for safety or is this for revenue? When she says safety, he was like,
Well, you
it's
need to
not.
see safety figures. I mean, you need to see the justification if that's
Well,
the
she was
case.
like, I need you to point the safety figures of the year. He's like, the year's not done.
Mm.
The year's not done. Also, no, it's not safe.
And no,
And no, try again.
allegedly.
So
Allegedly.
that's my Jesus take the wheel. So Mayor Bowser, listen, like I said, she's done some good stuff. But if this is
Don't
what's
be doing that.
happening, don't do that, girl. Just
Don't
don't
do
do it.
that.
Okay.
Don't do it.
What's your Jesus take the wheel?
So my Jesus take the wheel is a little bit different, more conceptual, but
Mm,
in line, like I said, there's a theme. So I came across this video about it was a Chinese woman on a podcast with her mother.
mm.
And she was speaking and in mostly in Chinese, there was a translation. So I presume that the translation was accurate because the things that she said in English aligned with what the translation said. But everything I watch now on social media, and now I have to take with a grain of salt. Like, is this what was said? Is this who they say they were? But it was a Chinese woman, and she's telling her mother that in America, she's pretty. And her mother is shaking her head like, no, no way. Like, no, you're
Oh,
not.
I
Ugh,
think I
I can't
saw
believe that.
this.
And so she's like, no, mom, like how come you don't believe like in America, I'm beautiful. And she's a beautiful woman, by the way. Like she's a beautiful woman. She was objectively a beautiful woman.
This
Like
is ringing a
we
bell.
think she's
Yeah.
very attractive. And her mother said to her, your whole life you were just an ugly little girl. I've always seen you as an ugly little girl. Like you've always been that, even now, your whole life. And I was like, what level of villainy has been unlocked at this moment? Like, what level is this? Like, is this level 20? Like, have we? Because I thought I've seen all the levels, but evidently there's more levels, more levels. So there are new heights to villainy. Um, so I was like, what is happening? So I kept watching, and she said the woman, the younger woman, the daughter, is saying, "Well, yeah, like you said, I always said I had bigger lips in America. Big lips are in fashion. Look at Julia
Right.
Roberts. You said you like Julia Roberts' lips." And her mother says, "Well, I always." She's like, "You're no, you're you're big lips. We don't. I always thought of them as pig. We call them pig lips, lips of a pig." And so the daughter's kind of like taking this like in good nature and like laughing it off. And it's like you could tell, like I guess she's either developed a very tough skin or gone to a lot of
Yeah.
therapy, or is I don't know, just coping and is dissociating. I have no idea how she managed to have this conversation with her mother in that way. But I don't know if it was strength and fortitude or exactly what it was, but I wanted to talk about it because I have seen varying degrees of this as between mothers and daughters, and particularly in the Black community where we
Mm.
are the ones who reinforce our own negative self perceptions. because when external standards are imposed upon us, who upholds those? Who
Mhm.
upholds those? What happens when they're internalized and continue? Who perpetuates them? Who tells kids, "Oh, go in and comb your nappy hair," or that, or you got bad hair or good hair, or
That's right.
stay out of the sun, you get too black, or
Yep.
your ash, you need to put lotion on your ashy elbows. Now, I mean, you don't want to be ashy. I'm
Yeah, we
sick
don't
of.
wanna be ashy because
We don't want to be
it's
ashy.
not a
It's
good
nice
look,
to be
but
glistening. No, I mean,
yes.
when we can glisten, because we all have learned about cocoa butter and shea butter at this point.
Yes.
But who reinforces and internalizes those external beauty standards? Why would a mother go to the extent of of verbally assaulting? I mean, that's not. I mean, that's assault, like assaulting her daughter's self esteem,
Mhm.
and to do that and not even see that as ultimate villainry. And
And
I
without
and
a
I
blink of an eye, because I think I saw
without
this
a
clip
blink of
and
an eye.
she said it so matter of factly, and
She said,
as
and was like it was normal. I was like, is this woman, is the mother actually inhabiting her own skin? Like, what is going on? And I believe that she believes that she's right. And she
yeah,
thinks she's so right
yeah,
that it completely outweighs the compassion, the nurturing,
yeah,
the mothering, the motherness of your own child's psychological survival.
yep,
Like, you can be so enfranchised. I'm saying this to make a point, because I have another point to make later in health and healing,
yes,
because I do.
I'm excited for you to go
You know
into
I
it.
do. You
Yep,
know I do. But
yep,
to be so enfranchised in this point of view, to think it's so right that you don't have blink an eye in telling your child that they're ugly, especially particularly when they're not, but whether they are or not letting your child find their own way, not letting your child have the space to make the world see them as who they want to be, whether it's beautiful or not, whether
mhm,
or to make space for themselves. That as a mother, you can't find your way to do it because you're so enfranchised in a point of view that's not even your own.
mhm,
I'm leaving that in, let Jesus take the wheel, because I have something to say about that in health and healing.
yep, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So shall I continue? So
Yes,
now we're in
continue.
our health and healing segment, because I'm going to address the problem, and then we're going to talk about how to fix it.
Yeah,
Um, so I wanted to title my comments. I wanted to give it a title so you know what direction I'm going in. The ultimate insanity of a single perspective and the lengths we will go to make it important.
you have the floor, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to repeat the title just because, for all those in the back. This is the ultimate insanity of a single perspective and the lengths we will go to make it important. This is what I mean by that. Each of us have a point of view. Each and every one of us. There is no single point of view. There actually is no such thing as right. There is what people have agreed to as a standard, but that's still just a perspective. Morality, all of these things that we decide to adhere to, those are standards. Those are standards, and standards are perspectives that people have agreed to. Everyone has a different perspective. Every single person. Where the ultimate villainry comes from is when a single perspective has taken it upon themselves to decide that it is the only and most important perspective, that it is right, that it is correct. And then, because of that decision of the rightness and correctness of their unique perspective, decides to go to any length to make it correct, to make it the dominant perspective, to make it the one that's the most relevant, because it has to do with that individual's sense of self and self-worth, that makes that person feel, I guess, valuable and seen.
Mhm,
And so to see this example that I gave of a mother attack her daughter's self-esteem to reinforce this standard of beauty that is obviously an external standard, because her daughter is Chinese just like her and born looking the way that she looks, but dark skin or her lip size or all of these things are considered, to the point where you would call a little girl ugly, and the little girl that's grown into a beautiful woman still continue to call her ugly. So you know she's that woman is carrying that damaged and
Mhm.
hurt little girl within her, and still managed to face her mother stoically. But who knows what needs to be healed on the inside. And I think to a certain degree, if you're hearing this, all of us have some bit of that, whether it came from our mothers, whether it came from society, whether it came from television, whether it came from magazines, whether it came from not seeing ourselves represented, whether it came from some strange podcaster talking about black women and wigs,
Mhm.
or just spewing their unbridled hatred. It's we're encountering it, and it causes damage. So this is the point about needing to heal this. Uh, and I'm gonna just go on an aside, but it's in still in line with this. I happened to watch Thanos last night. I never watched the Avengers, but I'm gonna talk about Thanos because this woman reminded me. I saw this video and I saw the
She reminds
Avengers
you of Thanos?
Infinity War. I was like, this is Thanos. This is Thanos,
Hilarious.
the mother version of Thanos. Like,
Okay,
this is
keep it.
ultimate evil.
All right.
Thanos is the ultimate villain in the Avengers. And
Mhm.
I was like, what is I watched Avengers Endgame, so I need to watch I'm not Infinity War last night. I need to watch Endgame to see how it ends. But this is what the plot. Thanos decides that he is correct in thinking that the universe is under-resourced and needs a reset, and decides to kill randomly half of all life in the entire universe based on his perspective. Now nobody's validated it. Nobody is not based on science. He hasn't read a report.
Right.
He's just a big green dude that has decided that he is correct in his perspective that he holds, and he's willing to go to any lengths to effectuate it, and to effectuate what he believes is correct, to the extent of killing half of the universe. Okay, random.
Mhm.
To varying degrees, this exists in all of us. This is the ultimate insanity of a single perspective, and the lengths we will go to make it correct. So this made me understand something. And seeing ourselves as Black women in particular, but as women, as people, still trying to conform to standards. Remember what I was saying about standards is this perspective that people have agreed upon as being correct. So seeing ourselves still trying to adhere to standards and conform to standards that are not correct for us,
Mhm.
rather than seeking joy, seeking health as a standard, seeking personal fulfillment as a standard, seeking joy, particularly as Black women, or for anybody who's outside of the standards being imposed upon them. So perhaps now in this moment is the time to understand that there are a million, trillion, billion, gazillion different points of view, and the particular violence that it takes to make any one such point of view the dominant view over so many others. Watch that video from the Jesus Take the Wheel segment. Watch that mother. Watch that video so you understand what I'm talking about, because it is the nutshell version of what we endure and what we have endured living in an environment where outside perspectives are continually imposed upon us.
Mm. I never thought Thanos would be used to make a,
Right. A
a
point about
point
a point
about standards and
self-esteem,
self-esteem, but I think you're
fulfillment.
absolutely right, and I don't as a mom myself, I think as a BB, because I'm a Black woman and my child is Black, and so I already know what she's gonna have to deal with. I make it a point to make sure that she is loved up on every single moment, every chance I get. And I'm not gaslighting her or, bigging up her head or anything. I really am genuinely seeing the beauty in her and I'm celebrating her for it every single chance I get. I don't understand how mothers do that, but I do understand what I do understand, though, culturally speaking,
Mhm.
how that mom, when she said what she said to her daughter, you're right. She thought she was right because in her mind, she thought she was right because of the
It's what she
standards that were
learned.
that were imposed on her what's beautiful in that moment is the daughter is allowing her mom to do what she's doing, but she's not internalizing it. You can tell that she's already done the work and has moved on, and she's
Mhm.
doing it as a way of, one, probably showing the rest of the world, like, this is real. Like, I need y'all to see what's happening here, but I need y'all to see how I'm reacting to it, to know that,
Mhm.
so that you can, so if you're experiencing this, you know what to do as well,
Absolutely.
you know?
And and that is my absolute broader point about this. Where do we start? Like, what do we do about this? Which is the health and healing portion, and it has to be about internalized standards, recreating and then internalizing our own standards for ourselves
100%.
and go whether it's going someplace where you're welcome or how what you beautifully do with your own daughter, we need to learn how to do that for ourselves. This is our healing time.
Yeah.
So whether it's standing in front of the mirror, whether it's going somewhere where you are celebrated, understood,
Yep.
seen, even if it's just in front of the mirror or going within in a moment, we have to learn how to celebrate our own individuality from within, and
Absolutely.
that is the only
Absolutely.
way to stop the violence in this moment. That's all I have for health and healing. That's my point.
Well, this is actually a great segue into what's good, aka Delululand,
Delululand.
because that's exactly what I did this week. So I did a dinner. So it's a multi-parter here. So my brother from another mother, Steve Jones, producer extraordinaire, created this event series called Hollywood Confidential. It's in its 12th year, and the mission behind Hollywood Confidential is to essentially empower creatives in the next generation, creatives of color, next generation.
Mhm.
How does he do that? He creates these one night only fireside chats with some of the biggest names in Black Hollywood. So Lupita Nyong'o, Regina King, Angela Bassett, just to name a few, Issa Rae. And so this past week, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Girlfriends. Mara Brockett, with Mara Brockett Hill, we celebrated her and her amazing career in television. She produced over 400 episodes of TV, which is
Amazing. A
crazy to say
miracle.
outside, right? Very much a miracle. So what we ended up doing, that was Wednesday's main stage event, but the night before was a dinner. And it was a dinner for Mara, but what we ended up doing, and I say we because Steve entrusted me with planning the dinner, and I was very proud of myself. So event planner Nikki in full effect.
Ow.
And so we did this dinner at Redbird, downtown LA, in the garden outside. It was beautiful. This I'll put up a reel so you can see how I designed it. But the main thing about that evening was celebrating iconic girlfriends, and
Mhm.
taking riffing off of girlfriends, but iconic girlfriends in TV, film, and media.
Mhm.
And the room was filled with just that. You had Kim Coles, Brescia Webb, Aisha Hines, Nina Parker, Janine Rubenstein. She's the editor at large at People. Mara, of course, was there. Kennedy Ryan was there. And for each woman that was present, they didn't know that they were also going to get their flowers. So what I did, I wrote a little snippet. You would have been very proud of me because I was writing, girl. I was writing. I was writing these
Writing.
little speeches. But for every woman that was there, I gave them their flowers. I said something beautiful and iconic and celebratory about them, and we gave them these gold-plated flowers. It was a really beautiful moment.
That's amazing.
And it dawned on me that night. I was like, "Oh, yes. This is what we really should be doing this." 'Cause the feedback that I kept getting was like, well, one, they were surprised, but for some of the ladies, they were like, "I don't ever get this. So thank you so
Mhm.
much for doing this." And I'm shocked because these women are bad, okay? Like, these women are doing the thing, okay? So I'm like, "What do you mean, like, you're not being lauded or honored or whatever?" They're not,
No.
because of whatever standard that the entertainment these women are not as important. I'm not saying that's what they're saying, but that's what they feel.
It's true. I mean, I feel that way after, I mean, not that I don't have amazing experiences, but in terms of as a Black author and as a Black creative, the way that I am treated and often overlooked, I think is um it's reflective of what happens with Black when we're not the standard, and or we're not presented on in a mainstream kind of way. We still do the work, but
Mhm.
it's not celebrated.
It's
And so
not.
so the fact that we have spaces where we can go into and be celebrated, and I feel particularly fortunate because I have had so many celebrations. It's not, it doesn't matter, but it has allowed me to see how we are treated. And so much of my time is spent thinking about what can we do to heal and address that deficit so
Mhm.
that people keep going. Because we
Exactly.
need these artists, we need these women, we need all of our icons, the one Jayne Kennedys, the ones who are sitting in shame and silence, the ones who are struggling quietly but smiling on screen and in our faces. We need every single one of these warriors who are out here creatively trying to make space and inspiration for us. So I love that that acknowledgement is there and coming. And I am not surprised that they have it has been lacking
It
to this point.
has. And so what I'm excited about is that I think there's an opportunity to do more of these. And I really was what am I trying to say? I was very fulfilled by
Mhm.
that segment of the dinner, giving these women these flowers, seeing the look on their faces, reminding them of who they are in case they forgot. And like a lot of them knew they were that girl, but I think it meant even more so to do that out loud, hearing someone
Mhm.
else say it. It's one
That's
thing
it
we're saying
matters.
it, but hearing someone else say it matters. So I got a lot out of that evening, just happy to be able to curate an event like that and scratch that, event planner Nikki itch.
Go
That was a
ahead,
lot of fun.
girl.
That
Go
was actually
ahead,
a lot of
girl.
fun.
I
But
see you, girl.
thank you, girl. Yeah, I'm my own. I see you, girl. But I think that I really hope to be able to do more of those kinds of events. And shout out to Steve Jones of Hollywood Confidential, who created these opportunities for me to do this event planning, for me to give the flowers, and for creating a space for us to celebrate these creatives who have done so much for us. Like Mara
Mm.
has done so much for us in culture, shaping culture and storytelling. And so
And trailblazing.
and the
Trailblazing.
trailblazer.
The wind is right in your face
Okay. And so
and making those spaces for us 100%.
her celebration Wednesday night was beautiful because you got to see her talk about her journey, give kudos to her husband Salim. Rob Farquhar was there. She was honored with certificates from the city of Compton, Congress, and city of Los Angeles. She was presented a check for the Writers Colony because Wells Fargo sponsored the events. And it was beautiful to watch and hearing the feedback from people in the audience being like,
Mhm.
wow, I really needed to see this. And again, it all gelled with me because I knew this was the point, but it really gelled all together at that one moment. We're like, oh, that's what we need to be making sure that we're creating space and setting the standards for us
That's
and
right.
celebrating us and filling our cup and resting so we can continue to output our whatever the thing is that we need to output in this world so that we can continue to feel seen, be heard, and celebrated and pursue radical joy. So
Pursue
that's
radical
what's
joy.
good this week for me.
That's very, very good. And I just want to say, if you're listening and you've heard this, because I think there's been a theme for this episode. This has already become one of my favorite episodes that we've done thus far, even our episode 38. But this is, even though we've done 37 prior, which have been amazing, but I already, this is one of my favorite episodes. If you're listening and you're so moved. When you see a sister, say something reinforcing and
Yes.
positive to her,
Yes.
acknowledging. Just do it. Just do it. Just say it. Don't think twice. Impulsively do it. See that girl, see that woman, and let her know you see her. Whenever, whoever it is,
Yep.
just do it. You will see her in her face the positive effect of that. And if that would be, I won't even call it just a takeaway from this episode, just a way to implement this in real life. The first person you see after you hear this, just try it. And so
Absolutely.
that brings us into our final word.
Yes.
Let's do our final word. I have a what's good, but we can talk about it in the next episode. I'm just gonna tease it. Je vais le dire en français parce que c'est Love is Blind in French.
Oh, girl, the reunion is tonight.
I know, but I've been watching the episodes. I have to wait on the because I'm on episode 7 and I'm riveted. It's so toxic.
Child.
It's so toxic. It's perfect. I can't believe it. Listen, I am here for the romance and the flowery words of love from all of the Frenchmen, and I'm here for the absolute toxicity of the women. I cannot believe it. This is the best and most dramatic, toxic relationship, unbelievable drama. I like villains, women villains
It is
season
better. Yes, it's better
than
with
I've
this
ever
one because
seen.
I started watching the Denver one and
It's boring, right?
no,
It's good.
no, it's not good, but it is harmful.
Okay, okay.
It is
I
harmful.
Okay, I
No,
haven't. I started watching it and I was like, "This is gonna be." I don't know. I
it's
like I
really
said,
bad.
I hold the gold goblet. I'm gonna get to that, but I'm stuck in France. I'm there. I actually was trying to figure out if I remember. I told you my one time getting engaged and I was like proposed to in French, and I said oui.
Yes.
He said, would you be my wife? Do you want to marry me? Like whatever in French, but it's like a different construction of saying that. But I just said yes, but other people said j'accepte, which is I accept your proposition. Like, and I was like, oh, did I say it wrong? So I heard so many proposals and I was like, no, some people just said we. So I'm like, okay.
You're like,
I
I did
like
it right. I did it right.
I know. Right word, wrong person. Let's just keep
Well,
it
we're
a
going
buck.
we're gonna keep this for next
That's
week
another
because I want to
story.
hear about this
Yeah.
story about you being
Girl,
proposed to.
I don't know if that's going to be in the story, but I will talk about Love is Blind French. I have to say that story is a long story, honey. I don't know. I might have to write it out. It's long. It's
Wow.
it's long.
Okay. Well, the final word, mine is really quick. So Loretta Devine was a special guest at the Mara event, and she said, I think Steve asked, what's one piece of advice that you could give to these aspiring creatives in the audience? She said, write a theme song and carry on. So she wrote a
Mm.
theme song about herself becoming a star, and she would sing it every day.
What?
Yes. And I can't even redo the song because it's unique to her, but she had her name in it. I'm going to be a star. You're going to see me in lights or something like that. She said she sang that song all day, every day. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a theme song
Girl, you
with
know I'm
my
about to do
name in
that
it,
this afternoon.
and I'm going to carry on. So I'm going to be busy doing that. So you should be too.
You know, I feel I have a theory that of the rappers that have been super successful, that's what they've basically done. They created theme songs about themselves. That's their whole rap career. It's like,
Pretty
you
much.
know, didn't lie just to live this here lifestyle.
Pretty much.
I don't know what other words in that song, but
All I heard was lifestyle. You're like, I want that.
yeah, exactly. Right. I know. I'm like, okay, that all that. So yeah, you know what, I might make I have an idea. I'm gonna make my own song.
I
But anyway,
already
so
know.
my final word my final words, I've said this before. We said what instead. But I recently did a book event in Sacramento for the best man. It was on the other side of a very impromptu yes. On Friday, I was not going to the event. By Sunday, I was at the event. It worked out very, very well. But at the event, a young
Love it.
lady asked me a question, and she asked, about my many, she called them career pivots. Now she's in high school and she said, you were an engineer and then you were a lawyer and then you were an executive, an entrepreneur, and now you're an author. Could you tell us about, your varying career pivots? And I said those were not, my response was that I didn't see them as pivots. I saw them as a path leading to fulfillment. I just continually followed what my spirit was, where my spirit was leading me to,
Mhm.
along the path of toward my dream, just never letting go of what my dream was. And at the time it was to write, but really when I thought about it, my dream was to have my geographic and time freedom, the freedom of my time and geography, which was
Mhm.
something that I would write over and over. I think I don't remember if I said this earlier, but I said,
You
God
did, you
grant
did.
me my freedom of my time and geography. And I remember
Yeah.
writing that over and over again. So I kept saying yes all along the way, holding on to the thread of my dream. And so I just wanted to share that as my final word, is that we know so much about what we don't like. And we are in this space of experiencing so much contrast, what we do not want, what we do not like. But the question is now, what instead? What do you want? What do you want to see? Write that down. What instead? What instead? Keep that in the back of your mind. If you don't like this, anytime you're experiencing it, okay, what instead?
Mhm.
Write that down. Make a song out of it, like Loretta Divine. Or just write it down like I did. God, please grant me the freedom of time and geography. But never let go. And just remember, in the moment where you're experiencing something you do not like, what instead? Answer that question for yourself and make it something that you can remember and repeat. That's my
Write
final
it
word.
down and make it plain. I think
Write
that's
it
the
down, make it plain.
make wait, is that I'm paraphrasing a line from the Bible. I think there's a verse that says that. Anywho.
Okay, well, we get you guys get the drift. Y'all understand. Again, share this episode with people. This is like I said, this is one of my favorite episodes. I think it's a very meaningful one.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Yes or
Yes or
no?
no? Where is
Show us.
she? Where in the
I
world is
don't
Anijah?
know. Where's a Nigel watch? We were doing a Nigel watch, and
I
it's like,
know. I should look this up. I'll
mm,
report back next week though.
where is Onijah? Where is Onijah?
Y'all, we crossed 5,000 downloads. So
Hey, we
thank you
need
so much
celebration.
for being such supportive listeners and sharing and reposting and all that jazz. And we've gotten a lot of feedback and people have been reaching out and we just, so thankful for you guys for listening every week and we will be back next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.